Hey, how's it going? Now I'd like to show you the first part of my DVD collection, all in alphabetical order. Okay, I'm using the flashlight here because the lighting isn't so good, so hopefully you can see a little better with this flashlight. And we have The Three Godfathers, 61, About Schmidt, both Ace Venturas. I have a question. Am I the only one who thinks the second Ace Ventura, the second one, When Nature Calls, is better than the first? Do other people think that? Then you have the Airport Terminal Pack. That's all the airport movies. I don't know if you've ever seen this, but the original one's probably the best one. It has Dean Martin in it, and here, I'll show you what it looks like real quick. Okay, forgive me about that. Okay, this is the Terminal Pack. There are four. Here are the airport movies right here. You have Airport 75. That's the second one. The third airport is Airport 77, and the fourth airport is the Concorde Airport 79. The one that's worth watching is the original. The second one's not too bad, but other than that, the third one and the fourth one, you can skip it pretty much. First one's rated G. The second one is rated PG. The third one is rated PG. And the fourth one is rated PG. So, yeah, I mean, they're all pretty much the same. I mean, there might be a curse word here and there for the last three, but, pretty much they all should have been rated G. And for a G movie, the first airport is very good. I highly recommend it. The first airport, as far as the cast goes, has Burt Lancaster, Dean Martin, Jacqueline Bisset, Bisset, George Kennedy, Helen Hayes, and Maureen Stapleton. She was the one who played Edith on All in the Family. And the second airport has Charlton Heston, Karen Black, George Kennedy once again, Helen Reddy, Susan Clark, Sid Caesar, Linda Blair from The Exorcist. Yes, Linda Blair. And it's the third one has Jack Lemmon, Lee Grant, Joseph Cotton. Let me line up here because I'm looking through the other thinger. Christopher Lee. Not too bad. And the fourth one, the focus here is terrible, so you'll have to forgive the camera. The fourth one has Robert Wagner, and it guest stars Eddie Albert and Charo. Yes, Charo. Coochie coochie. But like I said, the first one that you want to see, if you're going to see any of these, is just the original. If you see this for, say, I don't know, under 20 bucks, even under 15, pick it up. But if you want to see a good one, just see the first one. That's all you need. Basically what those airport films are, they're not terrorist movies. They're basically disaster films. Like a bomb on the plane, or, mainly that's their main theme. The third and the fourth one deal with a crash, and, they have to be rescued that way. I think the fourth one, they all end up underwater, and they have to be rescued that way. They're all under the sea. Next film is Almost Famous. That's a good film. I think everybody's seen this. There's a bootleg copy, or so-called bootleg copy on Blu-ray that came out about a year ago. This is the original copy on DVD. Very good film, worth watching. Then you have Alvin and the Chipmunks, both of them. The first one's the best one. They are going to make a third one most likely, because if you ever watch the cartoon, if you've seen the second one, the second film, and if you ever watch the cartoon, they have to do more with those female chipmunk characters. American Gangster, very good film. This is not the 3-disc version, no, this is just the 2-disc version. I'm not a huge fan of rap music. So I think the 3-disc version came with a soundtrack of all rap songs on it or something. Yeah. American Graffiti. These are good films. The first one's the best one. I got this has both of them. It's called Drive-In Double Feature. It has the first American Graffiti, and the second one it's called More American Graffiti. This is worth getting, I would say, if you, once again, if it's under 20 bucks or under 15, or if you can find it cheaper, get it. The main reason why it's worth getting, well, that's just the inside of it if you're interested in that. The main reason why it's worth getting, though, is, too close, this here, the making of the original American Graffiti. This is an 80-minute documentary, and some of the stars in it you'll see here. The main person is Ron Howard. If you've ever watched Happy Days and stuff, this is kind of a prelude to Happy Days. It came out, I think, in 71 or 72, and I think Happy Days came out in, what, 75, 76. And this is a George Lucas film. This is his second film, the American Graffiti. The guy who did More American Graffiti, it was not George Lucas, and More American Graffiti is an okay film, but it differs a lot. Well, not a lot, but their stories are very meshed up, and they're not as put together as the first one. For those who have seen both these films, you know what I'm talking about. Like I said, this is a George Lucas film. This film is his second film after he did. They talk about this on the documentary. I can't think of what his first film was, but it was some kind of low-budget B science picture film that just didn't do very good. So, you know, but this film, American Graffiti, is definitely worth the watch, especially if you like behind-the-scenes stuff. This documentary is just about 90 minutes. It's 89 minutes. You get a lot of info of how the film was made. And like I said, if you're a fan of the Happy Days TV show, you'll like this. You'll definitely like this. I like a lot. This is, you know, the basic, I think the movie's based in 64, 65. And it's basically about, you know, drag racing. It's a summer type of film. You know, out all night, drag racing, picking up girls, blah, 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 blah. So, very good film. And then you have some more classics here. Animal House. This is not a you know, there's an anniversary edition that just came out. This is it's a special edition, but it's an old special edition. I think it came out in 2003 or whatever. Good film, worth the watch. Are We There Yet? Good film. I've never seen the second one. Don't really care for it. This one's okay. This is a Jerry Lewis and Dean Martin film, At War with the Army. Very funny film. You know, this is the skinny case. You can get this at, you know, your local dollar store for probably 50 cents. Worth the watch if you're a Jerry Lewis and Dean Martin fan. This is the second Austin Powers film. I don't have the first. I do plan on getting it sometime. I've never seen Austin Powers Goldmember. For those of you who have seen it, is it worth the watch? To me, from what I've heard, it's not, because they just take everything from the first and second one and mesh it up in the third one. And if that's true, that might explain why we don't have a fourth Austin Powers. Although I have heard they are going to make a fourth Austin Powers. Is that true? The Aviator with Leonardo DiCaprio. This is definitely worth the buy. It's a Martin Scorsese film. And I'm not going to pull this one out, but I'll just tell you. It's 2 discs. It has a documentary on the second disc from the History Channel this is about the life of Howard Hughes, the guy who basically who invented the airplanes. Let's put it that way. It's very good. You know, he's the reason why we can go from the East Coast to the West Coast. DiCaprio was nominated for an Academy Award for this film. He didn't win. A lot of people say because this film was too long. This was the year he was nominated up against Johnny Depp for Finding Neverland, and mainly Jamie Lee Foxx for the film Ray. And, you know, we all know Jamie Lee Foxx won for the film Ray. His performance in Ray was good, and I don't know. I think DiCaprio should have won for this. For those of you who have seen both films, what do you think? Then you have here Back to Baton. This is a John Wayne World War II film. This is the second one. The original one is just called Baton. I've seen both of them. These are okay films. I'm not a huge fan of John Wayne, or Westerns for that matter. You might see some Westerns in here. But it was okay. This is the original Back to the Future trilogy that came out, I think, in 2003. This is the full screen version. I know there's another version that came out, another, you know, trilogy box set that came out last year for it. For those who have that and who still have this, is there much of a difference when it comes to special features? Because this gives you a good amount of special features. Is there much of a difference, though? Is the newer edition worth buying for Back to the Future? Beautiful Mind, good movie, stars Russell Crowe, directed by Ron Howard. worth the watch, I would say. But, you know, I'm not a huge fan of it. Beetlejuice, classic film. You know, I've seen this in a lot of people's updates. Everybody grew up on that, I think, Beetlejuice. I'm not a huge fan of the cartoon, though. I never could really get into that. B-Movie with Jerry Seinfeld, very funny film. Worth the watch, and it's not by Pixar. So, it's by Dream Focus. Yeah. And I've heard there's going to be a sequel to that, too. I hope there is a sequel to it. I found it to be very funny. This is a good little box set to pick up, or if you can get these separately. These are the updated versions of Billy Madison and Happy Gilmore, Adam Sandler's first two films. Oops, give me 1 second.